Hey, what is going on, guys? So unfortunately, you could tell by the title of the video, we have already run into our first issue with the F-150. These plastic rails that exist right up in here on both sides of the truck or the sunroof. If your truck's kind of older or it sits in the heat a lot, maybe this is open or whatnot, you know, they're kind of brittle plastic, so they'll break. And when they break, sometimes this thing won't come back or it'll be stuck open or whatever your case may be. For my case, first time I opened this thing ever, I heard a snap right over there. I mean, clear as day, like a crack. I was like, oh, did I do something wrong? The sunroof actually went back, but then when I went to close it, it got about right here and then would boom, shoot back. Try it again, boom, shoot back. I was like, well, that's an issue. So discovered that the plastic track broke and was sitting in the way. And when the motor back there, underneath the headliner, right back there where I'm pointing, if it sees there's a limit or something resisting, to save itself, it'll keep backing up and resetting. So that's what happened. I was like 2.5 hours from home. So I kind of just like pretty much forced it forward. Nothing else broke in that process. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and fix the rails. I got them from the Ford dealership. And allegedly these right here is the new part that supposedly they're a beefier track. So I think in the 15 to maybe 17 models or something like that, they had a kind of more of a thinner plastic. These allegedly are a bit more beefier. And not that they won't fit, I think it's just made with a better plastic. So we're gonna go ahead and get this thing out, get it installed. I went ahead and put a little personal puppy blanket up here. So whenever I do get this to pop out, I'm just gonna push it up and then back on here, so let it rest. So let's go ahead and get started and I'll show you the process. All right, so first things first, what you're gonna do is put your auxiliary power on and go ahead. Y'all hear that? Oh, it still had the old sound in there. That's funny. What you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and vent this thing to get easier access to the little torque screw bits in there. We're gonna go ahead here, hit the button and vent it. Oh. It's up there now, ain't it? All right, now that she's all vented, we're gonna go ahead and take out this little like rubber piece right here. So we're just gonna, you just slide it out right here. So I just popped this bottom piece off from right here. And now I'm able to kind of go ahead and just start inching this other piece out like that. Just barely pulling it out where it's supposed to be. Yeah, there we go. And then do the same over there. All right, now do you see those torque bits right there? That 1, 2, and then 3. You're just gonna take those guys out, and once you do that for both sides, that glass should just straight up pop out. It also seems to be the size of a T25. We'll just take it, pick it up, and put it back. There we go. Now we're just gonna set it back like that. Like I said, I already got my blanket back there to kind of catch it. And then we'll go up top, grab it, and just, you know, move it back a little bit. This thing is kind of heavy. Holy crap, he wasn't lying. There we go. Just gonna slide that glass right here. Let it hang out. All right, you guys, now I'm up here on the driver's side. This screw right here, so this screw right here needs to come out. This screw right here also needs to come out. And then there's one back here, but I'm gonna show you my GoPro that you're gonna have to pull this, slide this trough back, and then it'll reveal the screw. So we're going to go ahead, take this little itty bitty screw out. I'm gonna be real gentle because I don't have like the approximate size. Set it right there. This other screw we gotta get off. Be real gentle. I need a magnetic screwdriver so bad. And then, like I was talking about just a second ago, we're gonna pull this out and slide this back, and that reveals that other screw. You can kind of see that. So we're gonna go ahead and take him out as well. All right, we got it right there. Now we're gonna go ahead and take this little piece out right here and set it off to the side, just for like that. And we're gonna take a little screwdriver right here. And we're gonna bump this little thing out real easy. Well, it's probably not gonna be easy because it's probably never been done. So we'll just ease it out like that. There we go. The thing that stops the sunroof right here, we're gonna push this piece down and get it out of there. This little piece right here. We're gonna take it out. Trying to be as gentle as possible. So we're gonna put it there. Take our screwdriver again, and we're gonna somehow pry this forward And this little ring right here is supposed to match up right there. Like that. I'm just gonna take my thumb here again. Keep pushing it back. I think that should be on the money, so we're gonna get our screwdriver here again and pop it out. Alright you guys, so I got that thing to pop through. Now, you gotta push down like the guard or whatever, and it should slide out, because this is not just attached to the rail. So there we go, so we slid that out, and you can tell it is broken right here. Look for any more pieces. I already see one in here. I don't see any more at the moment, so I think we should be good. So now we're gonna go ahead and get the other part, or the new part over there, lube it up with some grease. I'll show you that in a second, and then we'll put it back in here. Look at this right here. It's already all greased up. You can see. So hopefully none of this in here breaks, but yeah, it's all greased up, so. All right, you guys, so now we have the new greased up arm here, and that's coated in grease, so we should be good. So now we're just gonna go ahead and stick it back in the tracks. They're different. Huh. Let's see if it works then.
You're gonna line up the little round thing again. I've already put some grease on it.
All right, you guys, so I went ahead, had to get the rail in there. You probably saw me. I finally wrestled it, put it back, and then went and put this little piece back in here, this little circular piece. Go ahead and line that back up. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the little screwdriver and put this guide stopper back up in here, which looks to just be like this. And that lines up just like that. Where'd those screws go? Where did I put those screws? I actually misplaced this freaking screw. I had to dig it out, so please don't be like me. I just had a heart attack. But we already got this track stopper lined up again, so we're gonna put him back. Boom, that's good to go. Don't need to be too harsh on that. So now we're gonna take this new piece here. We're gonna push this rail back, like in the middle. We're gonna put him back in here. There's some tabs that it goes down into. Some itty bitty tabs. You'll see them. You know what I'm talking about whenever, if you have to do this. Oh, dang it, it fell down there. I think I need some needle nose pliers. It's the wrong one. Let me take just a little bit of that grease. Here we go. That'll line those holes back up for those screws. So we'll get the new screws, put them little boys in there. Get the other screw. All right, so that one's back in. Now we're gonna take this little trough piece, pop it back through. And we're gonna take this piece. I don't know if you can see it from the GoPro, I'm sorry, but there's a little hole right here. It needs to line up with this guy. You're gonna have to pull this back. Pull this back something like that. And basically fit that in there like this, because this piece is what slides everything back. So that's all good right there. Should be all ready to go. So now that this is all pretty much done, we're gonna go ahead and do the passenger side over there. And then once that's done, we're gonna have to put the glass back on. But before we do that, there's a trick to, essentially you gotta like lube this guy up back here and lube the back of the glass up there, because if you don't, sometimes they'll start to like make some noises, squeak a little bit, maybe not seal properly or whatever the case may be. So we're gonna go ahead and do those two, address that while we're already here, and pretty much skip it so you're not watching it twice, obviously. All right, you guys, so I went ahead and put the glass back on. You can probably do it by yourself, honestly, if you just get a good angle. I stepped on the back side back there, and then I took it from where it was sitting on the blanket and just kind of eased it back on. And then I came up on that side and grabbed it and kind of eased it back. And then you can see here, you want to align those little like slots right there on front of the screw holes, essentially. And then you're gonna put it back. But we have this back on, but it's not properly, or all the way I should say, like level. So you see how there's that gap right there? You want to stick your hand up in there and level it like that, pretty much. You want to do it all the way around on both sides. As you can see, even if I level this side, that one still has that little dip in it right there. So pretty much that's what I'm about to do now. I'm gonna pretty much use my head, get up on in here, and I know that if I pretty much max it out, and I know when I max it out like that, that's flush, and that's level. And then we'll put the screws back in, so we'll be all good to go. We're almost done. I want to make sure everything was done right. I was checking behind myself. And yeah, so now we're pretty much getting in the final stages before we do the initialization. And then hopefully this will all be good to go. And
we all got dreams, we all want things. But what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be? And do you believe you can do anything?
alrighty, y'all. So I pretty much got them back in there where they seem to be, I guess, aligned and everything on both sides. We're gonna go ahead and clean up back here on this back seal because it is bone dry. And then we're also gonna get the back one pretty much where the front and back window meet. As you can see, it's really dirty and it's completely bone dry. So we're just gonna get some, you're supposed to use silicone grease, but I don't have any at the moment. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna use some dielectric grease. I'm gonna go ahead and just use this after I clean it up. And then tomorrow, whenever all the auto parts stores open back up, we'll go get some silicone grease, clean it again, do this again, so that way there won't be any, like when I first popped that, as y'all saw, it went like this, it kind of jerked. Because there's no lubrication, so you don't want to break anything like that. I've heard that's how people break these motors and mechanisms and all this kind of stuff again. So, all right, you guys, so we're back in the truck, but now we're gonna go ahead and start the truck up so we have full battery power and everything, make the tilt come back down. I'm gonna leave off these little plastic guards, these guys right now. I'm gonna leave those off for the time being so we can adjust everything. So I'm gonna lower the tilt back down, and then I guess we'll see if if that all works. Hopefully it does, please. And then we're gonna go check to see if it's flush up top again, and if it's not, we'll unscrew a little bit more, and then we'll fix it, make it all flush. And as soon as we get done with that, then we'll do the re-initialization, and then hopefully everything works out. Let's go and do that real quick, and let's see what happens. Turn everything back on. So 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, hold. Nothing. Oh. Oh, there it goes. So no. Said the motors are learning where to stop.
And then press and hold glass close switch again. Sunshade will fully open and then fully close, where it will remain while the glass moves from full vent to full open to full close. Let it go through everything.
You see it like I see it. He said hold that.
Yep.
Okay. Try it again, go back. Okay, tilt. They said if you do it again, it should fully open again. And then now we're gonna close it all the way. It's popping back here a little bit. Here you go, open it back up once. It popped a little bit, I guess it worked itself out. So it did the whole initialization, everything worked and found itself, because it does also the shade where it finds its limits, and then it does the same with the sunroof. So I went ahead and put these little like lower looking things back up on both sides. So that's all good to go. They're kind of a pain. Put the bottom in first on the little plastic rail right there at the back end. And then you can do the top, but the top's pretty easy to just slide between the glass and that little metal bracket or whatever. I ain't running into one issue. Over here on the driver's side, I put the glass back in. I tried to get it level, but I'm hearing it pop, like a pretty big pop. If we go outside, you can kind of see here. Do you see how the glass is a little bit down? It's not exactly flush. The front's great. The front's perfect, but the back is a little bit low. And so I'm trying to figure out what's going on, because the sunroof opens perfectly fine. I might need to go up in here and lower the back a little bit more or something, or maybe like raise it. I don't know what's going on here, but I'm hearing a pop. All right, guys, so it has actually been a few months since our last scene just a couple seconds ago, but the Ford is actually back up and the sunroof is working perfectly. and I'll pretty much run you through what had to happen. So pretty much I had to take it into Ford. They had it for a couple days. I pretty much had it, like I said, you saw where I had it kind of like decently aligned, but it kept like popping up here and it just wasn't sitting with me right. So I made an appointment, took about a month and a half to kind of get fitted into all the tech schedules and stuff with Ford. But once I took it to them, they had it for like maybe a day or two, and all they did, they said they aligned it. I asked the techs, I was like, hey, like how did I do? Like I installed the rails. They're like, oh yeah, the rails are great, did a good job. They just, you know, they did some weird alignment thing. I don't know, they do this every day. So they were like, yeah, you just didn't align it properly, but that's okay. And I was like, cool. So I think that only cost me like $200. Not crazy. I mean, I tried to save as much money as possible, so I did save on the installation of the rails themselves. So I'll take that win. But let's go and start the truck up here, and you can see everything works perfectly. So we'll get it back here. So yeah, this works perfectly. Once we hit it, works just fine. No problem at all. No more popping from back up here. And even if we go all the way, everything's good to go. So it's perfect. Everything is nice. It runs very smooth. I usually open it like maybe few times a week just to kind of get everything and still moving, but if we close it back, you know, it'll go right back to where it should be, and everything's perfect. And I'll even go outside how it looks whenever they fixed it and it's aligned. And yeah, here you go, you can see now that once they fixed it, it is back to perfect, which is what I wanted. So that's what we got. But that's gonna do it right there. This install wasn't awful. It took a little bit of time, probably like a couple hours just to kind of figure things out, and filming does add a little bit too. But overall, we spent about $400 around there. It was $200 for the rails and then $200 and some change to do the installation. You can save money installing these yourself. So if you're having the same issue I did with like the popping, or maybe it's not aligning right, call up your Ford dealership and see what you can do if you're not figuring it out like how I was, or if it's not sitting with you right, and hopefully you won't have to spend more than $200. That's it right there. Hope you did enjoy. Hope you learned something, and hope you can do this yourself. I was nervous walking into it, but here we are now. It works perfectly. I use it all the time now. As always, you can like, subscribe, and do whatever you want to do. It's your choice. Jesus loves you. I love you, and we'll see you. Peace out.